Hi, everyone. My name is Skyla Ramirez. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody half-hour session today. Let's get started. Let's get up and out of our seats, opening up the front of the hips, just beginning to introduce a little bit of weight bearing into the feet today. Let's go ahead and bring the shoulders up by our ears, and then we can open the palms, press back through those shoulder blades, then reach down towards the edges of the feet, waking up a lot of the muscles around our upper back and spine and in our shoulders. Palms turn in towards the thighs, lift the shoulders up, open the palms and open the chest, pull the shoulders back. Now reach for the outer edges of the feet, palms in, up with the shoulders, palms out, chest open, hands down. Let's do just one more like that. Palms in, shoulders up, open the palms, and then reach down. From here, as we inhale, let's circle the arms overhead. And then exhale, circle the arms back. Adding in a unique breath to each circle sweep. Breathing into the nose as we circle sweep back and around. Breathing out from the mouth as we exhale and circle the arms back. Let's do this a few more times, breathing in through the nose as much as possible. Breathing out from the throat. Maybe one or two more like this. Looking up, we might begin to just ever so gently begin to strengthen the neck muscles with a gentle tilt. Looking up and exhaling back. From here, let's bring our hands together at the heart. The feet are at about the width of the pelvis bones. Stepping our left foot back, a casual stride. We're bending our right knee, circling the arms up and reaching overhead, holding in warrior one pose. Left foot back and right knee bent. From here, let's flip our right palm up. And we're gonna hold on to our left wrist, pulling our left wrist over to the right. So we're actually really opening the left side of the body from the left heel, up to the left hip, up to the left armpit, and out those left fingertips. Press down into the inner blade of the right foot, beginning to create just a little more strength and stabilization in the pelvic floor and in the base of those trunk muscles. One more big breath. Reach, push back into that left heel. When your body is ready, bring it to center. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Stepping our left foot forward, right foot back. Keeping a bend in our left knee this time. Right leg is straight. Inhale, circle, sweeping the arms up. Option to lower the chin and close the eyes, feeling warrior one stretch. From here, we're flipping our left hand up, holding on to the right wrist. We're leaning to the left, opening up the right side of the body. So as we lean over to the left, we're creating a big stretch from that right straight leg. We lunge forward, pull out of that right armpit, and then let that energy move out from the fingertips. Looking over to the left, breathe into the upper right lung. Big inhale, open the armpit, and now slowly bring it to center. Let's bring our hands to the heart and step our feet to the width of the pelvis bones. Inhaling, sweeping both arms straight up and overhead. Exhale, sweep the arms back and around, bringing the palms up to shoulder height. Let's try that a couple more times. Rotator cuff movement. Inhale, take it back, bring it around, palms are facing in, and now palms forward, sweep it back, and bring the palms up in front of the body. Just one more, inhale, back and around, palms in, and now palms forward, take it back, palms up. Let's add on to that, inhale, palms back and around, forward, back and around, palms are up. From here, push the hips back and bend the knees just a little bit, working on strengthening the low back and even the front lower belly and trunk muscles. As we inhale, sweeping back and around, standing tall, maybe even looking up. Exhaling, palms forward, around, palms up, hips go back with a knee bend. A couple more. Inhale, reach. Palms forward, exhale back. Last one. Palms forward and around. Exhale back. Inhale, let's take it up. Hands coming to the heart. From wherever we are, let's take the feet out wider than the width of the hips, having both our toes forward just for now. When you're ready, lift up your right toe and pivot it out to the side. So we have our left toe forward, our right foot is out to the side. Let's bend and straighten that right leg a few times, checking in with the knee joint. Sometimes when we're sitting for a longer period of time, which can often happen with commuting or just with our job, sitting in front of our monitors, sometimes that can actually inhibit healthy blood flow in the knees and legs, and it can lock up that knee joint. So we just want to make sure that we have healthy flow of blood, and also we have healthy movement in the muscles, ligaments, and tendons. Let's bend that knee, finding a comfortable place somewhere between a bent knee and a straight leg. There's a comfortable bend for us. From here, we'll extend the arms out, looking over our right fingertips. This is warrior two pose. Maybe closing the eyes just for a moment. On the exhale, relaxing the jaw. Breathing from the throat. Remembering that exhale is more important than the inhale. The only way that we can get a good breath into the body is by making space for that breath. So exaggerate the exhale, and then draw that breath in. When your body is ready, let's turn the right palm up, reach down with the left hand. Let's reach straight up with our right arm, keeping a little bit in that right knee. Looking up at the right hand, this could help to strengthen the neck. If you're noticing any pain in the neck, turn to the left. This way we can work with gravity, and we're still working range of motion, but not imposing so much harm to the body. Inhale, open up that right lung, reach a little more. On the next exhale, let's bring our right hand onto the right thigh. So we're tilting forward to that right bent knee, right hand onto the right thigh. Let's take our left arm and reach that arm straight up as if we're holding on to helium balloons. As we inhale, reaching up, maybe pulling some energy out of the rib cage. It's important to keep the rib cage open and to reduce tension there. This can help us to have better digestion, better elimination. From here, let's put our left hand on our waist, push off of the right leg, extending the arms again at shoulder height, palms facing down. Let's straighten our right leg, keeping a tiny little bend in the knee. Push the energy back into that left hip. So you're going to imagine your tailbone is swinging back towards the left heel. We're reaching out with our right arm, keeping the armpit extended over that right thigh and knee joint. Let's bring our hand down and notice where the hand falls. So my hand naturally falls on my knee, and we want to avoid the knee joint. So choosing if we want to slide that hand up to the thigh or past the knee onto the shin. The lower we go, the more it's going to stretch the hip and the low back. So if you have any pain in your back, any sciatica, maybe hand to the thigh. We're going to hold it here, 3 to 5 cycles of breath. So we are actively working that stretch on the left hip. Inhaling, opening up, pulling that left shoulder back, maybe reaching that left arm up to the sky for triangle pose in yoga. Again, we could look up, straight ahead, or down to the floor. Looking down is going to be the kindest to the neck. At least one more big breath here. Let's lower our left hand to the hip, Slide the right hand up to the thigh and bend that right knee. Pushing off of our right thigh, slowly rising up. Extending the arms again. Looking over the right fingertips, pausing here. Just embracing a little bit of stillness in a strong warrior two foundation. Maybe even close the eyes. There's plenty of time for us to tune into the breath. At least one more big inhale, big exhale. Let's bring our hands to the heart, lifting the right toes, pivot on the heel, turning the right foot forward. And now we're lifting our left toe and turning our left foot out to the side. Right leg is straight, left knee is going to bend and straighten, checking in with that knee joint. Option to close the eyes. As soon as we close our eyes, it can become a balance challenge. If you close your eyes and notice that the body gets a little shaky, that's normal. Let's find that sweet spot for that left knee, somewhere between a straight leg and a deep bend. Somewhere between the two, there is a happy knee joint. Let's extend the arms out, looking over the left fingertips for our warrior two expression. Big exhale, bigger inhale. Let's turn our left palm up, reach down with the right hand, keeping that little bend in the left knee. We're reaching straight up with the left hand, holding on to 100 helium balloons, pulling up and out of the side ribs. We can look up, we could look back over that right shoulder, focusing on breathing into the upper left lung. One more time, big inhale with a reach. And exhale. Let's take our left hand to our left thigh. Fingertips are facing towards me or towards your monitor. Right hand goes to the hip. While we're here, we can decide if we want to stay here or come down with our elbow. Either way, we're extending that right arm up. And as we inhale, reaching up and out of the rib cage. It's a little different from left to right. As we open the right side, we're attempting to stimulate healthy liver function, cleansing of blood, releasing iron reserves so we have more energy, healthier blood. One more breath into that upper right lung. Let's come up to warrior two. From here, straightening that left leg, left and right leg straight, keeping a tiny little bend. It's called a micro bend in that left knee. Let's take our energy back into the right hip, imagining the tailbone tilts back towards our right heel. We're reaching our left armpit over the left thigh and knee. Right hand can go to the hip, allowing that left hand to fall into a safe place, anywhere above or below the left knee joint, staying away from that knee joint. Rotating that right shoulder back, holding it here. This is our expression of triangle pose with the shoulders protected. As we inhale, we can experiment by extending that right arm up, opening up a little more through the chest, practicing at least 2 or 3 breaths here, exaggerating the breath in the upper right lung. Looking up or looking down at the floor, listening to our bodies. Our bodies are the greatest teachers. It's all about what the body wants. Let's bring our right hand to the waist, bending the left knee, slowly pushing off that left leg. Easy does it to lift through the chest and spine. Opening up into warrior two once more, looking over the left fingertips and maybe closing the eyes. Taking the next few breaths here, simply observing a little bit of stillness. A little bit of silence. Let's bring our hands together at the heart, lifting our left toe to pivot it in, and then realigning our feet a little more neutral, keeping the feet open just a little wider than the hips. So we've been opening the front of the hip. We've done a lot of opening with the sides of the hip. Now let's practice opening the back of the hip joint. So I'm just going to step sideways to demonstrate the position that could create pain or injury. And sometimes when we see it, it helps us to realign ourselves. So as we place our hands on our hips, we're coming forward, avoiding pushing the weight back into the heels. So you would actually have your heels, your hips would be behind the heel line. Shift the weight forward. So this, from a side view, would look like the hip, the knee, and the ankle are stacked. Just a unique pillar of strength supporting the spine and the hip girdle. So take the weight out of the heels. One way to test this is to also lift the heels a little bit, depending on what kind of shoes you have on today. Or maybe peer out, as if you're trying to look out over the edge of some sort of a gate or chair. You're trying to look up and out over a little fence, keeping the weight shifted forward into the feet. When you're ready, slowly push back into the heels and then lift up through the spine. Low back strengthener. Let's kick off the feet. Bringing the toes and the heels to touching, bringing those feet as close together as the body permits. So naturally, it might feel comfortable to keep a little bit of space between the heels, especially if you're wearing a chunkier shoe or a boot. It could feel much more comfortable to have the toes touching and then a little more space between your heels. From here, let's bend the knees. We're moving into chair pose again, but it's chair pose with the bones of the legs angled in. So it's going to open the back and the side hip a little more. For this expression of chair, let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, hands to the side, push the hips back, and then place the hands down on the thighs. Let's bend the knees into this supported chair with our toes touching. Taking our right hand across to the left thigh, fingertips are facing towards the left. Let's take our left knuckles to the low back, pressing in through the knees and thighs, pulling the muscles up in the pelvic floor. Let's slowly draw that left shoulder back as we're taking this into a gentle chair twist, also known as twisting chair pose. Swiveling at the waist. The more we twist to the left, the more we'll need to concentrate on pulling the right hip back. Or if the left shoulder presses back, push the left hip forward. So it's like we're wringing out the spine, moving those body parts in opposite directions. If you start to get a wave of heat or a hot flash, you're doing it right, I promise. One more inhale. Exhale, both hands to the thighs. Relax your upper body for a moment. Let that chin come into the chest, finding a standing cat pose. Let's bend our knees, push the hips back. Inhale, lift the head from a flat back, walk the hands up. And now shake everything off. Finding a neutral foundation as we do this twist on the other side, toes touching. Maybe there's some space between the heels. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhale, arms to the side, pushing the hips back, hands coming down to the thighs. We're bending our knees and allowing those hips to hinge back. Let those hips flip back. Taking our left hand across to the right leg. Fingertips are facing the right. Right knuckles to the low back. Act surprised. 1, 2, 3. As soon as we act surprised, we can recruit all sorts of musculature deep in the ribs and spine. From here, drawing the right shoulder back, pressing the right hip forward. So we are wringing out at the waistline, squeezing the liver, the kidneys, looking over the right shoulder just for a moment. Maybe take that gaze to a more neutral position. And if you get that wave of heat or a little hot flash, it's working. This is a specific movement used to stimulate the different mechanisms in the body that can raise metabolism. So as our metabolism kicks in, we start to feel heat. One more inhale. Exhale, let's bring it to center. Both hands to the thighs, hips back, allowing the upper back, the head, and the neck to hang loose. Let's shake the head yes, and turn it left and right. Bending the knees, pushing into the thighs, push the hips back, flatten the back, and now slowly walk it up. Let's shake everything out again, resetting the body. All right, let's move into a little bit of exploratory movement to promote healthy circulation, not just blood and other fluids in the body, but also lymphatic drainage. So we're going to do a little bit of cupping. Let's take the feet out to any comfortable stance, bring the arms out, right hand over the left wrist, just gently pat in towards the shoulder. We're going to do it 2 or 3 times. Turning that left palm up from the wrist, up to the shoulder again. And then switching arms. Right arm out, keeping the wrist at shoulder height or a little higher. Just a gentle cupping into the body. Just waking up the nerve cells, palm up. Another alternative to this would be dry brushing, where you get like a really soft bristled brush and you sweep in along the skin. All right, let's take it so that we are under the armpits. Right hand just beside the rib and chest region. Take it down under the ribs and into the center gut or belly. So we're always patting in towards the heart or towards the gut. That's the natural movement of lymphatic drainage. So our lymphatic system regulates, it regulates a lot of our immune system. It regulates detox, a lot of toxins in the body too. Taking the feet out wide, little bend in the knees. Go ahead and take it down to the inner knees. Pat it up and up to the thigh and the gut. Inner knee, pat it up. Into the gut, just one more little pat and into the gut. All right, in closing today, we have a final movement to use to help flush out any excessive fluid in the face, in the head region. And this could even be sinus drainage as we have all this ebb and flow in our temperatures and in the moisture in the air too. It's common to have some sinus drainage that builds up. So you're just going to take your fingers and you're going to tap them in the middle of the head first, right here in the center of the head. And then take the fingers and tap on your temples. You might even feel a little tenderness. If it's really tender, just, do it really, really light. And now from the center pupils, it's on the bone on the top of the cheekbones. And then from here, just one hand on the cleft between the nose and the top lip. And then take the fingers onto the chin. It could be in the very middle, or it can be out to the side. There are different points for us to target. From here, moving down into the chest, if you want, take your hands and just sweep into the chest. So anything we might have loosened up in the face, we want it to drain towards the heart. And now with our peace fingers again, tapping right here in the center of the chest. Take it out a little bit. Whole hand open. And now take it under the armpits. Lots of lymph nodes under the armpits. Just 2 more spots to target. We have a karate chop. Other hand. And last of all, this is the best one, pat your head. From here, either seated or standing nice and tall, let's just create a little symmetry in the body. Inhale, open. Reach it up. Exhale back. Clear out the space around you. Maybe even close the eyes. Imagine light coming out of your fingertips and you're just brightening up the space around you, illuminating the space around you. One more. Exhale. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. Traditional opening and closing gesture. Bowing to close, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Please join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon for meditation. And again, Wednesday, more movement on Wednesday at noon. Have a great week, everyone.